Golden State Warriors fans, Dub Nation, you have come to the right place. Welcome and welcome back to C-Train Station for all those subscribers. Let's talk about the Warriors. Let's talk about some Warriors news and notes right before their road trip that starts tomorrow or on Thursday at the Orlando Magic. Big one coming up. The Golden State Warriors are 6-1 with Jimmy Butler. News flash, the Golden State Warriors, I'm going to say this, with Jimmy Butler, they are back, baby. The Golden State Warriors are back. Look, I didn't know how good Jimmy Butler was in general, honestly. I must have forgot. I'm honestly probably need to watch a few more Eastern Conference games, and then I need to go back to like my sentence structure and not say honestly so many times. Let's move on. So with regards to just how good Butler is making or helping this Golden State Warriors team to be, let's look no further than let's just say Brandon Podziemski. Brandon Podziemski has absolutely thrived with Jimmy Butler. I believe in Brandon Podziemski's 5 or 6 games pre-Jimmy Butler, he was in the negatives, plus minus. In all of his games after, he's like plus in the teens, plus 20s, absolutely ridiculous numbers. But it's about the space, not only that Jimmy Butler takes up on the court, but honestly, I did it again, but the space that Jimmy Butler takes in the minds of the opponents. I know. What the heck am I talking about? Opponents now have to actually worry about Jimmy Butler. Didn't necessarily have to worry about Andrew Wiggins, honestly. You don't game plan for Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is just a player who can beat you. You have to game plan for Jimmy Butler because of his direct impact on winning. I didn't know, again, so a few things I didn't know. I didn't know how good Butler was with regards to helping his teammates actualize, right? Cue in Brandon Podziemski. But also, I didn't understand how Jimmy Butler is able to help his team, bar none, flat out achieve victory. Jimmy Butler gets wins. The Warriors need wins. Dub Nation, yours included, love wins. And that's what we're seeing with the Golden State Warriors right now, and I love it. I love it. I didn't, just in terms of defense, I thought that the Butler to Wiggins trade would really be like a, we all love two-way Wiggins. I thought that it would be sort of like a toss-up on defense. I couldn't have been more incorrect. Jimmy Butler is an imposing defender and also helps to make the Warriors defense. He really helps round it into form with Butler patrolling sort of the front line of the defense. More of a point of attack. However, I understand he's like 35 years old. Not gonna, probably can't guard point of attack against guys like Ja Morant and whatnot. However, he's orchestrating this feisty, fiery defense. Jimmy Butler is, and it's working. It's flat out working. He's so strong when he defends. Oh, check this out. One thing that was really interesting with Jimmy Butler was his ability. Butler can close out and contest a shot without raising his hands. He closes out on the space and sort of sticks his chest out. It is brilliant. It is brilliant. I didn't know how good of a defender Jimmy Butler was and how good Jimmy Butler can make defenses. A little bit of underrating when I honestly, so what happened is like you look at Butler's stats compared to a guy like Wiggins, especially this year, this season, and you don't see that big of a difference. The difference is in mentality. The difference is in mentality. And I don't mean to just be comparing Wiggins with Butler. I don't think that that's even a fair comparison. Two different players. But when we talk about a player's impact and ability to win a game, that's when we have to talk about how Butler stands out. His ability to unlock other players on offense and, more markedly, in my opinion, on defense. Brandon Podziemski and Jimmy Butler are menacing. They are frustrating offensive players with their defense. You have to love that. And you got to be happy for a player like Brandon Podziemski, who sort of took his lumps earlier in the season. He's rounding into form. He's looking like exactly what the Warriors had sort of envisioned, in my opinion, in the offseason of how Podziemski, fits on the team. One thing that we have to recognize and acknowledge as well with Jimmy Butler. Yeah, I'm still in Jimmy Butler. I've ranted now about Jimmy Butler in the positive vein, right? For a few now. With Jimmy Butler, the Warriors are more able to legislate games at the free throw line. This is crucial. The Warriors are now able to stop opposing teams' runs via getting to the free throw line. And also, when the Warriors have had these big leads, remember last season, the Warriors would get these big leads. Last season, get these big leads, and just as fast as the Warriors would get the leads, they would just evaporate. Gone. Poof. Kaiser Sosade, right? That is gone. Not this season. The last few games, the Warriors have been able to create and maintain leads. And when other teams come back, when other teams go on their big runs, tweet, send the Warriors to the line. Tweet, whistle, that's what I said for tweet and foul. The Warriors have been able to get to the free throw line and convert on their free throws. This ability is something that they absolutely have not had since Kevin Durant. The only time, in my opinion, that the Warriors have been able to do anything, have been able to impose any type of strategy at the free throw line was with Kevin Durant. Now they have that access. They have access to that ability. Look, the Warriors don't need Kevin Durant to win a championship. The Warriors need the ability to get to the free throw line successfully, to maintain leads, and to keep them, right? And to get those leads. Other players can do that other than Durant. I'm so glad that the Warriors have Jimmy Butler so that now they have access to that free throw line. Finally, Butler is helping the Warriors maintain these leads, and he's helping the Warriors get these leads. I loved Andre Iguodala's retirement. One more time. I loved Andre Iguodala's retirement ceremony. Bless Andre Iguodala with the fate of the modern world on the line. Give me Igoudala. I want Andre Iguodala. Iguodala means so much to me. He's a player that I've followed ever since it was AI, I believe. Wasn't he drafted by the Sixers? Played with Allen Iverson. Iguodala's ability to play defense successfully, to unlock every player that he plays with, and to defend Lord Stephen Curry's legacy. Andre Iguodala is like Stephen Curry's keeper. No, but bro, he is amazing. And just cheers to Andre Iguodala. Here's to a healthy and awesome retirement, or just a second. This is like a second life. Andre Iguodala's probably got a lot going on. I think he does a podcast. But long story short, thank you, Golden State Warriors legend, Mr. Andre Iguodala. Here's an interesting stat. What do you think here's a question to you, Dub Nation. What do you think the Warriors record is when Moses Moody starts? You ready for it? The Warriors have a 10-0 record when Moses Moody starts. I know. It's either good luck charm. I think that there's actually more than luck that's correlating with this. Moses Moody, like Brandon Podziemski, has now steadily sort of made that improvement. And I think that Moody has busted through a few of the barriers and walls that he's had. Now, will it go back? What happens when Jonathan Kuminga gets healthy? What happens to Moses Moody's playing time? I hope that you got to keep... To me, Moses Moody has earned playing time. Has he earned the right to start? Well, he's 10-0 when he's a starter. I'd like to see the Warriors lose a game that he starts before they even think about replacing him and changing that starting lineup. They're playing so well right now. I wouldn't mess with a good thing. 10-0 when Moses Moody starts. Props to Moses Moody. Hey, go and look. Almost a year ago probably now, I did a little a props video, just sort of giving Moses Moody his flowers. It's probably 6 or 7 months ago. Check that out. It's a good one. My biggest hope now for the Warriors moving forward, because I think that the Jimmy Butler deal is such a steal for the Warriors because the Warriors didn't give up Jonathan Kuminga. My biggest hope is that Jimmy Butler can unlock Jonathan Kuminga, who's been out for a long time with an ankle injury, with a badly sprained ankle, right? There's no excuse now for Jonathan Kuminga to not play superior defense, to not really buy in defensively. He's got Jimmy Butler and he's got Draymond Green. He's like literally going to be right in the middle of those guys. Kuminga can't be the weak link. Defend without fouling. Defend without fouling, Kuminga. But this is just such a make or break time for Jonathan Kuminga. I have faith in him. I think he's going to get the job done. And this is actually why. Something has dawned on me a little bit. I think that there's going to be a real intersection soon. Because Jonathan Kuminga is so physical, so assertive with his style of play, right? I think that now the refs are going to be at an impasse. Will Jonathan Kuminga finally start to get the calls? Because look, Jimmy Butler's on the same team now, right? So it's like if Butler is getting those calls, Jonathan Kuminga doing the same thing should probably get those calls. But will he get those calls? That is such a key to unlocking Jonathan Kuminga, is his ability to get going at the free throw line, right? When all else fails, break glass, give it to Jonathan Kuminga, whether it's at the free throw line or just via one-on-one in the run of play, Kuminga will get you buckets. We got to see wins. Wins, number one, but number two, we have to see solid defense from Jonathan Kuminga, because it's like he's going to ask for so much money this offseason, yo. Jonathan Kuminga is going to want to be paid so handsomely. And he's got to prove it. He must prove his value, and now is the time. He was doing it so well in the 5 to 6 games prior to him becoming injured. But gosh, 5 to 6 games out of an 82-game season isn't enough. It's not enough. He has to be more consistent. He needs the availability. I believe I counted this, at least 12 Warriors this season. At least 12 Warriors have suited up and played more games than Jonathan Kuminga. I also have to add that the only other time Kuminga was given consistent playing time was with the G League Ignite, and he definitely had injuries back then as well. Can Kuminga stay healthy? It's the value of Jonathan Kuminga on the bench getting a check injured is 0 to the Warriors. There's no value there. I really love what can we talk about Quentin Post real quick? I love what Quentin Post is offering the team. A fiery big that can shoot. Are you kidding? Excuse me? Baking powder? What's going on? What's going on here? What a find by Mike Dunleavy Jr. I think that just Post is shooting 90+% from the free throw line and 40+% from the three-point line, and he's taking his shots. He's also able to finish a little bit inside, and we got to remember this. What was it, the Mavs that they played? Quentin Post stayed with, I think it was just like Hardy of Dallas. Jaden Hardy, is that his name? A pretty good guard. Decent, not pretty good. Decent. But long story short is Quentin Post was able to stay with guards and move his feet, slide, and not foul on defense. That impressed me just as much as any offense he could play whatsoever. The upcoming road trip I think this upcoming road trip starting Thursday at Orlando will really solidify where the Warriors land, playoffs or play-in. I actually think, gosh, dare I say this? This is sort of an intense, I think that the Orlando game is so big. I'm not going to put it all on there, but this is what I'm saying. If the Warriors lose at Orlando on Thursday, I think there's a greater chance of them falling back than if they maintain momentum and win. The Warriors already tricked off way too many games this season, but most recently, the Dallas Mavericks game was one that they tricked off. They started slow, and things weren't going their way, but they weren't able to successfully defend and successfully really manufacture that offense. It cannot happen at Orlando. I don't care that the Warriors are away. They're going to get a bad whistle. Probably, we just know that. The Warriors need to fight through that. No excuses. The playoffs, this is really like a 20-plus game playoff run right now to the playoffs. This next game against the Orlando Magic is freaking paramount. The Magic lost by more than 40 points or something like that, outrageous. They will be looking for revenge. They will have circled this game. They have been rested. This is the ultimate trap game on Thursday versus the Orlando Magic. Bookmark those words. The Warriors signed Taron Armstrong from the Australian NBL. I love this signing. Armstrong is like a young 20-year-old, right? He's like 23, I believe, 22, 23. He reminds me a little bit of Ty Jerome. He's listed 6'5", 6'6", point guard. He reminds me a little bit of Ty Jerome. Here's the only thing. He's not nearly as good a shooter as Ty Jerome. One more time. That's the difference, and a lot of time, shooting's the difference. Taron Armstrong is not nearly as good of a shooter as Ty Jerome. And listen, and Ty Jerome without a shot, does he make the NBA? It's all about taking and making your shots, right? I'm hoping that if Taron Armstrong can hold who just got signed to a two-way contract, so we'll hopefully see him in a few games. Hopefully we see him in a few appearances with the senior squad. But look, I'm hoping that Armstrong can hold his own on defense, and that on offense, I do not think that he's going to make a whole lot of shots. I've watched his games, and he can take and make shots, but he isn't like that pure shooter that we all know and love, honestly, Dub Nation, that we know and love. So how will Taron Armstrong react to the NBA game when his shot is completely disrespected by his defender? I think that question the answer to that question will unlock whether Taron Armstrong is an NBA player or whether he is not an NBA player. But one more thing on Taron Armstrong, two more things. Really, it's really cool. He's got a cool little story. I believe he's from Tasmania, and he's just got an interesting sort of interesting story, origin story of this champ right here. So another thing is that Taron Armstrong can make really difficult shots. Watching Armstrong's tape in the Australian League, I believe it's called the NBL, he was able to make a whole lot of shots in the paint after getting contact, and he never got the calls. He wasn't getting any calls, and he was still making those shots after contact. That's exactly what he'll have to do in the NBA. However, he'll get even fewer calls than he did in Australia. I still think he could do it. I think that there's just such a chance with Taron Armstrong, but we'll really see when he gets the space that the NBA provides. What will he do with that space? Okay. It was really, Kevin Durant blocked a trade for the Warriors. And I expect, that's what he even said in Draymond Green's podcast. I expect the Warriors to revisit that in the offseason. I think that Durant wanted to come, but I do not think, I just don't think that Durant wanted, this is really crazy. I know, Dub Nation, this, like, what C-Trade? What are you talking about? I think that the Suns were really looking at Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, and draft picks from the Warriors. I don't necessarily know if Durant wanted Green to be traded. Does Kevin Durant still possibly think it would be all good to be on the same team with Draymond Green? So look, I don't know how the Warriors could make the contracts line up, and I'm here to tell you right now, right here, that I don't care. Number one, it's not that I don't care about this deal. I actually don't care right now about talking about anything other than a potential Warriors championship run. Everything else that doesn't have to do with that should be shelved to the offseason, just like Durant said so, right? And I'm going to do the same because they're bigger fish to fry. The Golden State Warriors have a shot. They at least have a freaking shot. And when you give a team led by Steph Curry a shot, you never know what you can get. He'll take you to the top. Draymond Green, guaranteed a championship over the All-Star weekend. Look, I'm not going to knock it this time. I'm not going to knock it, and I like the confidence. But now it's time for the Warriors to show Dub Nation, to show C-Train Station a little bit. Let's see how these guys react in the road trip. Huge, epic, massive 5-game road trip coming up. Let's see how the Dubs do. And of course, for your Golden State Warriors content, like, subscribe, follow. Thank you so much for those subscribers and those who comment. You make my day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And for your Golden State Warriors content, I'll see you next time at C-Train Station. Have a good one.